If you have a specific goal in your mind, in your family, in your life, and it's just hard for you to turn it into reality and just simply doesn't seem to come into reality, but it's something that it's important for you and your family, this video is for you. My name is Aristotle Daskal, and I help people fulfill their destiny. Well, in a previous video, I've been talking about when I switched to being an employee, and then I started my own business, and I started doing a lot of freelance, and I had to take a few steps and leaps of faith into not going back to having a safe job and continue to try to find clients and basically building my business. And it's interesting that one of the ways that the universe has honored my courage of taking that step and not looking back, and even if I had to stay without money and without a project for months at a time and go on credit cards, one way that the universe has honored that was the fact that it allowed me flexibility for me to be able to buy a house in Greater Vancouver. Greater Vancouver is very well known as one of the worst places to buy a house, or more difficult places to buy a house in the world. And it's because the prices are really high, and the market has been booming so much that it was very hard for people to even catch up. A lot of people put money together, multiple families, and together with your parents or whatever, to buy a house. And in our situation, I was just switching from having a job to having my own business, a freelance business, not some kind of $1 million business. And I was the only one having a job inside the family and income in the family. My wife was a stay-at-home mom at that point with our kids. And how did this happen? A lot of people that we've known in our context, even if they had 2 jobs and better paying than my previous jobs, they still weren't able to afford to get a mortgage, to get in the real estate market in Greater Vancouver. How did we actually manage? And here's interesting, just the fact that I started my own business gave me that flexibility of giving me a specific income, on the business, of getting a little bit in debt with not paying taxes. And I've been using that money to put more for the down payment. It was an entire journey. But here's the thing, my wife really wanted us to buy a house. I didn't necessarily. I wanted to invest. It was hard for us to buy a house. I was like, nah, it's okay for us. Let's just rent out. But she really wanted it. And when I saw how much she really wanted it, it was one of those intention in the way that the law of creation and law of attraction works. You got to have an intention that is really important, that it feels good when you imagine it. And it's got to be matched to the belief that you are able to do that and to achieve that. Now, for us, the belief was a process, because it had to be proven to myself that I'm able to put together an income that we're going to be able to fit into the requirements of a mortgage. Now, you can just give up on a dream of yours and just say, nah, it's not doable. Or you can simply start by doing more research, and you can just try to find creative ways. When it's something that you truly want, if you don't give up, if you give yourself time to do more research, to really try to see, is there any way for me to get it? And you're willing to pay the price for it, the universe is going to reward you, because your intention is going to match your belief at any point, and it's going to turn into reality. And that's what it did. I tried to find any possible way for us to lower our costs so that we can afford the monthly payment, and then any possible way for me to come up with an income monthly value so that I can actually afford to get a house, working with a bank on it. And by doing all the tweaks with my accounting, give me a flexible income, and then pulling all the credit cards and line of credits for the down payment. And now that I'm looking back, I'm thinking, see, I accepted all the lines of credit and all the credit cards that banks have offered to me. I didn't use them, but I accepted it all. And I didn't know why. But this was the reason. This is what I've accepted it without even knowing it. But see, in time, I've disciplined on what do I spend money on. I got the discipline on not using the credit cards for day-to-day living. It was just an investment opportunity for the future. And sometimes you don't even know why you're being guided to live in a certain way, to take certain decisions. And now I realize this was exactly why. See, the universe and in the spiritual realm and in who we truly are, there is no time. In the energy world that is driving actually the manifestation of our life, there is no time. So some things could have happened in the past, driven by something that maybe you're going to wish only in the future. That's why being connected to your higher self, to your emotion, to your intuition is so important. And other people, even with a lot more income than us, they weren't able to get a house. Maybe because they chose to spend more money on day-to-day purchases, and then they didn't have any more money to fit their mortgage. But maybe they didn't even think about, what am I willing to sacrifice for this goal that I have? So I want you to think about this. Try to think back into what choices did you make over time that are in reality strengthening the goal that you want to have. And you may see that there has already been guidance towards how you could achieve this goal. Maybe you haven't been listening openly to it, but maybe they have been signs. Whenever you have a goal that feels good and it's the right thing for you, you can look back and for sure you're going to be able to see the signs. Maybe now is the time to listen. And then think about what may be some sacrifices that you should make, which in reality are not even sacrifices. They're simply reprioritization. And they're not a bad thing. Actually, they're a proof of what you truly want. Because at any point in life, if you really want something, you're going to have to give up something else. And it's not a bad thing. It's just something that is meant to help you validate of what you truly want. If you want something and it doesn't seem like you have to give up something else, my own perspective is that it's not actually the most important thing for you. Try to think about something greater, something bigger, and you're always going to see that there's a shift that you got to make in your life in order for you to have that. So if you really want to achieve a goal that it's important for you and your family, and you know that it's gonna make a significant positive impact in your family, try to align your beliefs that you can do it with that intention, because if you have that thought and that desire, it means that it is possible for you. It's just a matter for you to stepping into the right belief that is going to turn that into reality. Look at what you're supposed to give up and look at for the sign and the guidance that maybe you didn't notice until now. Open your eyes, open your heart. But you know what? As long as you're in fear, you're not going to be able to see that. Just like I was while I had a safe job. So don't forget to look around on what are the things that you should be stepping into outside of fear. See you. Bye-bye.